So, welcome to the Startup Weekend Final Pitches. So, my name is Jay Cooper, for those of you who don't know me. I've been the facilitator for this weekend, one of the organizers. I've had a great time doing this event again this year. So, once Mo sits down, we're going to meet our guest judges. So, since he is the late arrival, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Hello, I'm Mohammed Traore. So I am now working as an independent consultant in AI and business strategy for essentially just computer vision and also large language models. Previously at RoboFlow, as a machine learning field engineer, and started there during the seed stage as a sales representative. So kind of just seen a lot of the aspects of AI, and that's where my main expertise is.
I am Taisha Perry. I'm a residential and commercial realtor as well as a head success coach for Resilient Sustainable Future Crowd City. A lot of my work goes into supporting people in the community, being a guide or resources, both in community activities as well as business growth.
I'm Scott, Scottrepreneur. I've been a builder in the space a long time and excited to come judge with you guys. I'm currently doing blockchain development. I'm very excited about the future of technology around that. I'm excited to work with you.
Excellent. Let's give our judges a round of applause. So I'm going to run through what the judges are going to be looking for from each of our 5 teams who present today. So there are 3 criteria: validation, execution and design, and business model. So for validation, we want to see if our teams actually got out there, that head mall full of people, it's been full of people the entire weekend, did they actually get out there and start talking to people? And by talking to people, figure out if they're actually solving a problem, and then if they've identified a specific target market. So hopefully they found the group of people that they're going to sell whatever it is they're selling to. Execution and design, this is important, doubly important, that's why it's on there twice. Do they have an MVP or a prototype? So have they created a website? Have they created a physical thing out of cardboard and duct tape? Do they have wireframes of an app so they'll kind of lead you through that? Whatever, just some sort of prototype. And then of course the design matters. Is that thing that they developed, that physical thing or that virtual thing, is it easy for people to use? And then third, the business model. How do they plan on making this a successful business? So how are they going to sell this to people? How are they going to keep and grow people? Are they actually solving a problem? So do they have a value proposition statement? And then of course, is their idea unique? Are they not just reinventing Google or reinventing Facebook? Is it actually a new, unique thing that solves a problem? And so everyone's going to get up. Each of the teams is going to get up for 5 minutes each, give their pitch, and then the judges will have 3 minutes for Q&A. Once we've gone through all 5 teams, I'll take the judges in the other room. We're going to deliberate for a little bit and pick the top 3 teams. And we've got some pretty awesome prizes from some of our sponsors. And then we have some fun. We get to talk to each other. We get to celebrate being done with an amazing weekend. Here's our order. So first to last. So financial planning is our first one, followed by Rev, followed by Think Joy, then secure status, and then we'll wrap up with Rest Easy. So without further ado, we'd like to get everyone on your feet. Everyone stand up. Let's welcome financial planning.
Hello everyone, I'm John. I'm Kelvin. And this is Financial Planning, an innovative approach to financial literacy education. So our problem is one that students and teachers both agree on. The current landscape of financial literacy does not meet student needs. Existing tools fail because they are not engaging or effective. This means that students are coming out of schools with little to no background in crucial life skills like budgeting, saving, and investing. As a result, they make ill-informed financial decisions that affect them for the rest of their lives. So we transform high school students into informed and financially stable adults who start building wealth today. Our financial literacy video games teach personal finance skills by providing content that is adaptive, individualized, and AI-driven.
So when doing our customer discovery, we wanted to talk to people about their high school experience. So the vast majority of people, probably including yourself, said that they preferred the discussion-based, the hands-on approach to teaching over the lecture-based and not very involved. And then we also found out that nearly 70% of people wish that they had learned more about budgeting in high school. And this was followed by savings, credit cards, and then investing. So this is a hypothetical kind of interface that we have from the game. So kind of picture yourself strolling down an aisle at a store, and you have a full cart of goods. And then you get a text from a significant other, a friend of yours saying, hey, can you grab this for me? And you already know that you're above your set limit. So I guess our game is kind of designed to help navigate these tough problems of how do you have respect for your budget, but also respect for your friends and your peers. And then here we also have another situation that everybody should face at some point, opening up a savings account. So you have, your contrast between you take your traditional savings account, or you go with something less liquid, a high yield savings or a money market account. You have to put some money down.
So when talking to potential customers and then coaches, we found out that we have two core customer groups, and that is our end user, which is high school age children, but then also our actual customers who are going to pay for the product would be places like banks or youth development groups who want to create an individualized product that has their name on it that they can use to have access to this emerging future market. So to develop those relationships, we provide engaging, feature-rich content, offering an adaptive, unique experience for our customers. We provide them a custom game that becomes a source of advertising and gives them access to those future customers. And this will be offered through schools, youth development programs, and then promoted by the investors themselves. And the way we build those relationships is through advertising and then directly networking with them. So revenue is going to come from those banks and contracts with youth development groups. And our cost structure goes to things like development, marketing, things like office space, and then data management, so that we can provide that unique, individualized, adaptive experience.
So taking a look at our go-to-market plan, obviously we want to generate revenue from banks and other youth organizations, alongside teaching students about financial independence. We assume that this will take about a year to develop. It probably will take a bit longer, but we have the year set out. And then where it will be on a digital platform, whether it be a website or an application. And then we want, as far as advertising, we want to have strong partner relationships so we have a good word of mouth and a reputable, within the banking industry. So here we have a few competitors. You can see we have an axis set up to comparison of game that is educational, trivial, and immersive and disengaging. So you can see that a lot of our competitors are good at doing one or the other. And ideally, financial planning would be somewhere up on this top right quadrant. And then here we have a table. We have 4 factors here. We have scalable difficulty, adaptable progression, immersive character experience, and one that I think will differentiate us from any of our competitors, the utilization of artificial intelligence.
Let's take a look at the financial potentials for this business. The market for game-based learning was set at $11.5 billion in 2022, and that's expected to grow at a rate of 21.6% up through 2032, bringing it to $77.4 billion. And a lot of that is going to be driven by greater demand for service-oriented solutions, so kind of what we're offering, working directly with institutions to create something for them. And a lot of the market growth in general is driven by tech advancements, things like 5G, AI, augmented reality, and then just a generalized awareness of how effective game-based learning can be. So our next steps will be to develop the software, start testing it in schools, and then eventually teaching the idea to banks. So this is our team on computer science today.
Judges, you have 3 minutes.
Did this always start as a game-based learning, or was it just we want to start with financial education?
The inspiration was to teach financial literacy. We started thinking about what's the most effective way of doing that, and game-based learning is something that a lot of people are looking more towards because it has the potential to be so effective. So that's why we went with that approach.
Another question I have is, do you feel like there's a particular platform that would be the best, just mobile, or do you think there are other target places that have high potential, such as like AR experiences.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end of our research, we're kind of looking at the feasibility of putting it onto augmented reality. But yeah, I think a desktop would be the easiest platform to start with, and maybe move from mobile or move to mobile from there. And then yeah, the end game would look like a very immersive experience where you have augmented reality, you kind of involve yourself in this area.
Talking to people, I think what was the feedback from the people that you reached out to?
Universally, people agree that there is a serious lack of financial literacy education in schools. And we bring up our idea at the end, because people really resonated with it. They found that it gave us a lot of good suggestions. So there does seem to be, we even spoke with some teachers who had attempted some solutions like this, but it kind of fell short of their expectations. So we do believe there's a need in the market.
When you were chatting with maybe the after-school programs or anybody, were you finding like a price point that worked for them? And so you had your kind of bottom or top-down projections. Do you have any sort of bottoms-up price points?
It would be tough. We would like to be a sponsorship to a bank, where they kind of put their tag upon it, and that way we could have it kind of cater towards that. So yeah, you can speak to it as well. But yeah, price point is probably the most difficult part of this. It's just finding something. But we want free access. Want people to the university to be able to access this game that we have. But I think one of the only feasible ways to do that would be to partner with a bigger bank, like a bigger bank, or even Visa has a couple of financial games they came out with years back.
Question for me in terms of differentiating from the other competitors, how do you expect to bring up your personal expertise in finance? So when other people want to use it to see it, having that stamp of approval that this is actually valid information.
I mean, a lot of this information is very baseline. I think we want to target a high school audience, and I think 32% don't even know what the difference between a debit and credit card is. So having I think some backing of a bank institution would be nice. But I think at the same time, a lot of this information, a lot of this is just very baseline information that I think is easily accessible. But at the same time, people need to have it. So I think that having a foot in the door in that sense of just having simple information to give out and putting yourself in these these kind of hard situations between friends, between like what you have budgeted and then how friends feel about you. I think that those situations can be very beneficial.
All right, switch it over here. One team down. All right, everyone get on your feet and let's welcome Rev.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and I'm here to share my story with you. In May of 2020, I went inpatient at the University of Iowa Mental Health Clinic. I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to and I felt really alone. And my upcoming therapy session wasn't for another 2 weeks. I wish I would have had something to help me through that really tough time in my life. So, unfortunately that wasn't an option for me, but today we've developed something that can help you out. Introducing Rev, our mental health companion.
Now, like Nicole, there are around 20 million students in this country who are facing mental health issues. But are they getting the required help when they need it the most? So the problem is, what if someone is having a panic attack in the middle of the night? Or someone wants to talk to their therapist outside their working hours? That's how Rev comes into play. Rev will facilitate the availability of mental health services at the time when a student needs it the most. And because it's AI-backed, it has the ability to respond to specific questions and learn from every interaction to create better suited responses over time. Now, what's our unique selling point? Our business model. And what makes us different from the other apps that are already available in the market that work in mental health care. Rev offers its services by selling institutional licenses to middle schools, high schools, and colleges. Schools offer Rev free of charge to their students as a part of their overall health service offerings. Hence, students will have an access to an immediate mental health assistant by default as a part of their school curriculum.
Hello everyone, my name is Michelle and I'll be going over the product demo. This product was designed after conducting customer discovery in the Iowa City area with about 20 people. So the first slide that we're going to go over, once the user downloads the application, they can then click create an account. Once they click an account, they'll be taken to the registration page. Once they enter their information, they can sign up, to which then they'll be prompted a question. We ask this question so that we can program the application to best fit the student needs. On this page, once the user gets into the chat space, we automatically ask them to agree to our terms and conditions. This is not only to protect ourselves as a company, but to also protect the student and their privacy. So one of the first features that we have, Rev is backed by evidence-based mental health practices, CBT and DBT. So some of our responses are going to help the user through guided meditation, de-stress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness, amongst other things. The next feature that Rev offers is the ability to download their mood and behavior report. Rev can track the mood that the user reports or the behaviors that they're showing. They can download the PDF and give it to their therapist to help them better on their mental health journey. And lastly, we want to make sure that our students are safe. So we have the trigger warning. When a student says something that is of concern, we make sure to take action. It is automatically going to prompt the urgent mental health crisis alert. We urge the student to either call 911, 988, or to contact their emergency contact.
As you can imagine, mental health markets are extremely large. I think on this slide there are a couple key points. The first key point is that global mental health apps and AI mental health are already multi-billion-dollar opportunities and are growing at an extremely fast rate. The second key point is that institutional sales for an app like Rev represent a $5 billion annual revenue opportunity. There's competition in the space. Companies like Gaggle and Classroom Clinic offer telehealth solutions like psychotherapy and prescription management to schools. Other companies like Liza and Wobot offer AI chatbots, but their target market is a lot different. I was initially skeptical about this opportunity, but I think there's a real opportunity now for an AI chatbot for students. Our go-to-market strategy is to launch the app in 2024 and plan 2 or 3 beta reference customers. We want to be extremely easy to work with, so we'll always offer the app free to schools for a limited time. Later, we want to partner with community-based providers and telehealth operators. This gets us off to a pretty good start.
Our ask today is for first place in this competition so we can have the confidence to move forward as a team. Thank you.
All right, judges.
Sorry. You got it. We see as a team, we need each other.
Well, on my side, in terms of this app itself, for the privacy and security of the actual data, we thought of things like HIPAA compliance or how you're going to manage people asking for data to be removed.
Yeah, so we are thinking of the application, we're thinking of a feature where once the conversation is started between the user and the app, it will mostly be in sort of a vanishing mode feature, and the information will only be saved on the back end. But we still have to do more research on the privacy and security of that.
I'm also wondering if there's data leakage or someone accesses someone else's phone and sees information that they're not supposed to from this app.
I would say definitely like in the whole terms and conditions with the small print, if you read more, we would just have something that would cover us, cover our butts if that happened. Yeah. I mean, Facebook has leaks all the time, right?
For the entry route into schools, have you talked to any folks about what they're currently using? And is there a good way to decipher your solution?
I can take that one.
We talked to Sue from Classroom Clinic. She kind of indicated that there's a void in the space. In our customer discovery, one of the concerns about therapy was costs, so we decided that schools would be a likely option for launching a product. That's what we chose.
I also, in my customer discovery interviews, I talked with a school counselor, and he just emphasized that there's a real gap between him being able to talk to one student like once a week or once a month, and the rest of the month they have no one to talk to. So I think it would be a good gap filler.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of both of them, REV is also a supplemental resource that can be used with individuals like Sue Gallen. So she's
She manages prescription, and then usually there's a social worker that comes in from time to time and offers therapy, but those only happen periodically, so there's a huge gap in what the student can do to address their mental health issues between those visits.
Will there be any type of support? So when you see those risk words and you're saying that alert, the patient get more help, reach out to their emergency contact or whoever that is there any extra support that might come as a follow-up in a sense?
I feel like there could definitely be a feature where it automatically, I mean, we're targeting students, so obviously they have a parent or a guardian. I feel like there could be an automatic text or notification, emergency notification sent to their guardian.
and if not guardian, their counselor at least, because not every student is comfortable telling their parents.
It's almost like a check-in, like it's like, everyone can, it wasn't something that's needed right away, like just to check in, and someone checked in or something, checked back in on them.
That was so fun. We rocked it. Nice job, team. Taking Jay's spot. He's not sitting here.
All right, everyone get up on your feet once again. Think joy.
Please raise your hand if you would like to bring more joy to the loved ones that you have in your life.
Yes.
Awesome. I absolutely love being in a room full of beautiful humans. Right now, you see that this is our nation's reality. And the truth is, this is our community's reality. We believe that there is a serious disconnect of how much human connection is happening, and we think that if we don't start to really care and pay attention to one another, we're going to have serious social destruction. And with that, there's a famous quote that says, in times of destruction, create something. And that's what we're here to do, is create our new nonprofit for your community.
You know what? All right, so here's the problem we are looking to solve. Meaningful, truly individualized, joyful experiences created for and with seniors in our community do not currently exist for those who do not have the resources to take themselves on those outings and those without family nearby that have the time and the interest to take them on adventures. And this is why that's a problem. Research shows that when social connection doesn't happen, it comes with severe consequences. And when social connection does happen, it brings phenomenal benefits. This matters because this is what has happened to our neighbors, our community members.
So here's where Think Jig comes in. Think Make-A-Wish for seniors at a local level. It is creating an opportunity where we're not providing the guesswork for the programs that we're offering for the people that we see. We're literally a nonprofit that's going to provide day-by-design outings to the community members age 65 and older. Think Joy creates personal and local adventures, like I said, with and for our older adults. We help them by creating an opportunity for them to actually have a choice in how they spend their day and making them feel significant, seen, by giving them the gift of time. Of course, the thing that we can never get back. Today, these are our statistics. 58 million people aged 65 and older is the number we have today. In 2040, there's going to be 80.8 million people over the age of 65, and more than 1 in 5 American adults are unpaid family givers. In Johnson County alone, over 20,000 people aged 65 and older exist, and it's the fastest growing age group in our community. Right now, we have 9 assisted living facilities that these people could be clients in.
So for our customer discovery, we mostly went out into the pet mall to talk to individuals. We talked to 27 people in total. We also looked online at the programming offered at 7 assisted facilities, or assisted care facilities here in Johnson County, and had a meeting with one of the event coordinator, or whatever the title may exactly be. Here were the common themes that we got in that feedback from everyone we talked to. Caretaker burnout for those who have someone living with them who could really use a break to bring joy to their loved one while they get some time to themselves. Guilt and grief when their loved one is far away and they can't do these things with their loved one. Disinterest in traditional programming. Wednesday night bingo night is fun for 3 weeks, not for 5 years at your facility. And then a really high interest in those exactly personalized experiences, truly things that bring you joy.
So this is what it looks like. An interest from where you're going to request joy from somebody in your community. Initial contact by one of our members of our staff. We're going to meet with a guest of honor to design their day, and we're going to pick them up, and this is where the magic happens. Specifically, this is going to happen in our community in 2 weeks. We're picking up John, who is really, really excited about visiting George's Burger. He's going to want to see Joe's Place. He also wants to see the Regina baseball field. And we're going to be picking him up in a really nice ride provided by McGrath Auto, who's going to give us the opportunity to do something that's safe and accessible. That's happening, and it's also going to be videotaped. We're going to have a storyline company that's here at Merge that's going to videotape the experience so that we have some marketing opportunities. These are the funding sources that we have. Here are some of the partnerships that we think that are going to be great partners for us in the experience. Successful Express in the next 3 months. 501c3 applications going to be submitted, get donations, get a lawyer to help us with the trademark contracts and waivers. We need a business mentor, and we're looking at you. We need workspace and insurance, a vehicle, marketing, videographers. The first day of Joy launched and recorded, and positive feedback from our guest of honor, John. We would like you to join us for a Joy ride.
Oh my God.
We welcome your questions.
Judges, you have 3 minutes.
So when it comes to the actual customer or purchaser, just wondering, would this only be the caretaker or the former caregiver, or would it be coming out of this person's time?
In terms of cost, how it gets covered. So in an ideal world, this would be free, so that literally anyone can experience joy. That shouldn't be exclusive only to those who have the money, which is part of the reason why we want to pursue the 501c3, so that we can get donations, we can apply for grants, so that everyone gets a chance. We have been talking about, are there families that would be willing, right, to cover some of the costs? And if so, how do we provide a good avenue for them to do that?
Do you have a really great neighbor that you'd like to nominate for Joy? Are you in the assistant care unit? And maybe you're in the, it's not assistant care, but it's where you don't need assistance, but you're living in an assistant care unit. Maybe you nominate somebody that's a neighbor that has assistant care that has a need. Maybe it's your loved one, maybe it's your family, maybe it's a caretaker, you're a caretaker and you need a break, and you nominate somebody that you know as well. The nomination can come from anywhere. We would love it to be free, because we really do believe everybody is significant and everybody deserves the respect of joy. So we're really excited about getting donations so that we can provide it for free.
How do you vet these experiences in terms of knowing whether they're going to be successful or attractive?
Yeah, like how many smiles can we get from that in pictures? Yeah, it's literally vetting for the experience, is getting the word out. We've had KCRG ask us if they can do a story on us when we launched the video. We've had the Gazette come and say, can we write a story about that as well? So we're going to get our word out in a lot of ways. I think just having the opportunity to have a video that shows it's joyful, and just also getting feedback from the family members, feedback from the community, or your own family, or the neighbors, and the person that experienced it, as well as, how else would we vet?
So we have a feedback form on our website.
Yeah.
We would just enter the feedback, and we have media partners who would enter it into the videography and content management.
And also we'll know, is it successful, or is it interesting, are people interested? Are they repeat customers? Was that an awesome day and you want to come back again? That sounds fantastic.
How's your capacity for flexibility in process? So for instance, I think it says that you can request that you come out, and then you might do an email or phone call, but if someone's like, I can't come like either, right? Can you have the capacity to be able to come make that in-person meeting?
Yeah, so actually the process is after we get the form, we do a quick phone call or email just to get some initial contact going, and we schedule a meeting with them. So we can really take the time to get to know them, hear what they would love to experience on their day, talk about the feasibility of pursuing those things, obviously. So there's always going to be an in-person meeting before we go on our day 4 adventures.
Thanks very much. All right, 3 down, 2 to go. Go ahead and get this next one going. All right, everyone get on your feet again. 4, senior status.
Hi everyone.
Hello,
My name
everyone.
is Daria and his name is Enrique, and we will present you secure status. It's encrypted third-party STD, STI. If you don't know, it stands for sexually transmitted diseases and infections. Test verification tool.
Cool. So basically, 1 in 5 people in the U.S. have an STI. This is from CDC. 26 million folks acquired STIs in 2018. Nearly 16 billion in just those folks who acquired STIs in 2018 will be a lifetime cost. Biggest player in this market is HIV. Nearly half of all new infections occur amongst the nation's youth. So HIV being something that's long-term, folks have to take for their lifetime a tablet, and that just incurs extra damage to their kidneys, liver, pancreas, brain, so on and so forth. So people are being impaired at a very early age. This is not good for folks. So as we can see, 13.7 billion lifetime cost incurred in just 2018. HPV at 755 million, and all other STIs 1.4 billion. So there was a Reddit post analysis of 24,000 posts. It was a pretty cool study. Basically, the amount of conversation going around STDs increased before COVID and then after COVID, it increased by how much?
It's like indirect indication.
And these are just Reddit questions. You know, people, it's difficult to talk about these things. So if anyone's feeling uncomfortable in the room right now, it's fine. It's an uncomfortable topic. But so people are asking on Reddit, you know, what do I do? How do we handle this? We interviewed 33 people out on the mall. 50% said they would appreciate an app that can provide secure and private STD results. So
basically, just now our solution is to decrease risk of contacting STD, STIs from casual sex by not analyzing testing verification in casual online and dating scenes. And there are some competitors, but mostly there are no competitors in US. Probably some people tried before and they kind of really failed. Or in Europe, there is one app which kind of active now. It's iPlaySafe. But their solution is a little bit different from what we propose. They send testing kits, and when they link these testing kits results to your app, and then you can link your health test results to dating apps like Tinder, for example. But they are not available in the United States, only in the UK, and all other just competitors there, sometimes maybe not real competitors, like sending or sharing results directly with someone else or
other people's options.
Yeah, and this is like the wireframe which we created. Our app will be, it's like web application or just web mobile application. It will be packaged into mobile devices because people carry them all the time. And there are different screens, like just basic screens, so plug in and sign up. And then the most important property will be like show QR code or scan QR code. And using this by scanning QR code, you can see like the health status of person who we scan, but we will not give super details like we keep it private. We just give like a recipient function with yellow light, like traffic light, or like it's safe, it's green light.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this example, John and Jane, they met. John had an STD 2 months ago. Jane was tested a week ago. When Jane scans John, she doesn't see, oh, John had an STD. It doesn't say the specific STD, right? That part is hidden. But what it does show Jane is yellow, proceed with caution with his partner, right? So to keep folks safe. Because STDs and STIs, they can cause people to not have children. they can cause people to start having a child, and then the child is ejected in the middle of the pregnancy, or it's a failed pregnancy. So this is a very important issue. This is our user journey. So there's two methods. There's the dating app integration, and then there's the in real life integration. Okay. So basically, the user's here, right? And then they have a test from a testing center. They send the results to the secure cloud, and we're looking at that through Amazon Web Services, and that's been used in the past for HIPAA compliance. Then a digital card will be created. It can be linked with the dating app, and two users connect. They'll be able to communicate to the cloud. It will be encrypted, so our company will not have access to the data. Sorry that I'm speaking so fast. Then there's going to be the red light, yellow light, green light, so recommending how are things going to move. Of course, we'll have a legal clause that will say we can't 100% guarantee that you won't have. So this is our team, Biomed and ComSci Masters, and then I have a background in Ayurvedic health and wellness, and we'll be seeking someone in HIPAA compliant AWS infrastructure.
And that's it. Good job. All right, judges, you have 3 minutes.
Do you have any way that you're going to get paid for this?
Yes, so we're believing that the user will incur the cost
It will be business to customer.
as a SaaS model. Security as a service.
What does the process look like with the agreement with Tender and like the other agencies?
Yes, absolutely, great question. So we'll be speaking with independent testing centers to prove our model. Then we'll be seeking funding to build our model and build our MVP. And then from there, we'll begin to approach small dating companies and hopefully go to bigger ones. We'll be targeting the male homosexual market first.
And also, like hospitals can, like we can leverage like health hospitals to promote themselves because they can say that we have integration with this app and you can use it.
Yeah. Next question.
What happens if people were to start screenshotting results from someone and then posting them on social media? Is there anything around that?
Right, we haven't thought about that, but we would absolutely create something that the user, our goal is to be in close contact with the user and protect their privacy. During our testing, that was the highest, that's a social media trouble, if that were to happen. Next question.
On my side, I was wondering when it comes to how you're scaling this. So because it's all about the privacy aspect, word of mouth, are you really just going for social media itself, or really expecting people to be talking to their friends publicly about it?
Great question. The goal is that when they go in for testing, they will be greeted with some sort of signage or a pamphlet that says, hey, you have this option to now secure your health. And we'll also be seeking to partner with schools that have rampant STD and STI rates to make it a normal thing of their culture and then take that model into other cultures, as well as the homosexual.
And with the SaaS model, different tiers of pricing, intro pricing, anything like that?
Could be. We were looking at that briefly, like if someone is very sexually active, how often do they have an STD test and can we accommodate, can we be there for it? But at the moment, it's just privacy.
Privacy.
That, yeah. So, next question.
Are there specific providers that you're targeting first to kind of be that preferred provider that will then link back to your service?
Right, so we're looking at small independent testing centers, and we're looking at the male homosexual market. They're the most active and at risk, and we'll be doing data analysis likely Florida, New York, California, as to see which groups are very impacted by this hair on fire type problem. Next question.
Good afternoon. We are going to present to you Rest Easy, Finding Peace in Loss. This is going to be a virtual funeral planning platform. So I want you to meet Jill. Jill is a single mom. She works full-time as a nurse. She is obtaining her master's at nursing at night school, but she's also an executor and a trustee for her father who recently passed away. So imagine the process that Jill is going through. She's grieving, she's mourning, but she also has so much on her plate. Don't worry, we're here to help Jill rest easy. As you're looking at the death care and funeral planning industry, it is massive. So if you look at this, over 3 million people died in 2022. The average cost of a burial was $9,000, cremation $7,000, and the newly released body composting was $8,000. The entire industry as of 2023 represents a $20 billion a year financial impact. And we've also looked at our competitors. So of course, we're kind of coming up against those traditional funeral homes. One of the largest ones is Dignity Memorial. Another is a more technical solution called Everloved. Now, looking at all of our competitors, there's a lot of differentiators, and I want to focus also on Everloved. So Everloved has kind of recreated the traditional process of a funeral. What we want to do is provide more diverse options for people who are at a very stressful time and looking to create a plan for their loved one. We're looking at offering one-on-one support, on-demand, virtual, and even a free plan to start. So if you have a phone, you can actually check out our live prototype. Just use this QR code and it'll pull up the experience that Jill will see. And as you're pulling that up, I want to tell you a little bit about the value that we're looking to bring. So we're looking to support executors and trustees during their grief. Create an individualized virtual space for them to have checklists, know what is coming next as they're going through this process. Now I'm going to hand it over to Paul, who's going to dive in more.
All right, thank you, Colleen. So let's get the 411. The average time for an executor or trustee of managing the process of the funeral planning once they've lost a loved one is about 90 to 120 days. Actually, and when you think about the market, that's really where we're focusing initially for our MVP. The opportunity is much larger. The average process to go through and actually complete the entire closing of an estate, whether they have financial retirement plans, whether they have a home, their assisted living, distribution of their tangible goods, that takes over a year. So this is actually a very long process that we can actually really engage with our users. So who we're focusing on in the beginning, executors and trustees that are individuals that are generally going to be a family or friend will be taking care of the process. Why we want to focus first on the MVP. Again, this is a huge process, but initially we've got to get out there and help supporting these folks with our premium plan, again, for the first 90 to 120 days. That's what we're going to start with, that's the why. When we're going to start actually launching this in fall of 2023. How? Through relationship management with funeral homes, funeral directors, nursing homes, hospice care facilities, and really the opportunities are pretty wide. This is really just a place to get started. Where? We've actually identified 3 key markets. We've got opportunities in Des Moines, San Diego, California, and in Sun City, Arizona. Those are the 3 markets we want to start with. So our business model here, so you've got Rest Easy here in the center. Again, in the top right-hand corner, you see we've got our free freemium option. So there's going to be no cost to the user. It's going to come with some key opportunities, but there is going to be data capture, which will help lead to revenue in the future. Same thing when we actually get past MVP and we have a paid subscription model that they can actually go into to help support them for that entire year-long journey with additional one-on-one support services, tools, and resources. So more revenue coming through there. We're also going to have a marketplace that's going to link them, and all of these channels, Amazon Funeral Homes and others, are going to feed back revenue directly to us because we're actually channeling potential folks to them. Go-to-market plan. So in June of 2023, we complete our customer discovery, 10 folks across these 3 key markets. July 2023, we're on finalize the prototype. Okay, and then we want to move through and kind of get through iteration, develop our MVP, and then really 2024, we're going to hit the market running. Financial projections, again, $20 billion a year. We believe within 3 years, we're going to focus on 1/10 of 1%, which is $20 million. Okay, 1/10 of 1%. This is the team. Thank you so much for your time.
3 minutes.
Can you take us through the process of what they have to do post ACE?
When someone passes away. I mean, really, that's the compete. So if you actually pulled up, I don't know if you're able to, but in our demo, we didn't want to take the additional time. So while we're asking questions, if you want to look at the demo, it actually will give you an idea of where to start. So it's going to help walk them through the process. Some of the first steps are, hey, do they have pets that need to be taken care of? We need to start getting access. If you don't have a will in place, you're going to need to get some things taken care of. You're going to get death certificates so you can actually get access to the bank, so you can actually talk to the insurance companies, you can get the information from the doctor's office. I think there's a lot of steps that need to be completed, and it's going to walk you through step by step, really kind of post-haste component, which is like, hey, in the first 24 hours, you need to do these 5 things. What needs to happen in the first week, and then throughout the year. And there's going to be an opportunity, because think about like project management, where if there are individuals in your family that want to help support, we can help connect them where they can kind of help source some of that, and it'll actually ping that person through text and say, hey, you're going to help out with X, let us know what you finished.
How has the partnership and this feedback from partnering with funeral homes and, offering services?
Yeah, so we interviewed quite a few people that were specific to being trustees and executors, and a lot were commonly said that they felt like they were upsell during the funeral planning process. And we also think that there's a lot of potential with technology and maybe even to partner with funeral homes to add this as an additional service white labeled.
Just to add to that, so 83% today of funeral homes are actually family owned. And so initially they're definitely like, we don't want you in our playground, but the reality is if you look at those 83%, their obituary and memorial sites, which is also what we have, they're terrible. They're not great because they don't have the money to spend on it. So our goal is to partner with those funeral homes and say, hey, through our partnerships, we just want to offer you this free service. We're not trying to take your business, we're trying to make it easier for your customers, and also we want to give you a better site, which over time, if that experience is great, that's going to lead to additional revenue for us. Can you share the story of your interviewee who led to 15 others?
Yes, so I interviewed somebody who had their father pass away. It was the first time they had ever experienced a death of a loved one. And her father did not pre-plan his funeral. And that created a ton of stress within the family to try to get everything together. But what was most interesting is that lack of pre-planning prompted 15 other people to then go pre-plan their funeral in advance, including the wife.
I wonder in terms of a lot of great information on expertise here, are people actively working in this space, or is this all?
We met this weekend. And both had a similar idea with funeral care.
And neither one of us are from the death care industry. My background is in HR, organizational development, and people operations. So that's where I started my career.
And I'm in software development and UX design.
Well, those are our 5 teams. Why don't we give them all one more round of applause? Who the top 3 teams are, but while you're out here, I don't know if any of my fellow organizers want to do a song and dance or anything, but we do have some treats over there, some beverages. Go ahead and help yourself. Please talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right. Congratulations. You did it. Give yourselves a round of applause. So what did you learn, those of you who participated? Anyone want to give some feedback that you learned?
I think that we capitalized off our individual abilities to make something collectively better.
I think I learned how to get more specific when trying to decide the target market or who is going to purchase the product.
For me, I think it was just if you have an instinct or a gut feeling like, hey, I need to do this thing, pick up and do it. I did not know about this till Wednesday and came here from California and met Colleen, so sometimes you just got to listen to your whatever's happening in the energy in the world. So.
Not to have planned words, but I think that there's like joy in the chaos and the confusion, and learning in the chaos and confusion. So we were the nonprofit that came into the space and we're like, we don't really belong here. What are we doing?
You belong.
But yeah.
So do you and I.
Yeah. But really, there's learning to be had, even if you're not in the space you thought you should be. Or when we were thinking about the creation, there's a lot of people that were interested in business or in tech, and they weren't really interested. And I was telling Natasha, like, we really don't belong here. Nobody wants to partner with us. And she was like, that's okay to not be somebody's person. Like, if your idea, if your idea is not for everybody, that's life. Like, don't be sad that these 15 people weren't interested in your idea. And so, like, just remember, we're not for everybody, but that's okay. And there's joy in the chaos.
Anyone else want to share any tidbits? Yes.
I learned that YC Combinator has a beautiful, like 22 videos on YouTube course on starting a startup. And it has Sam Altman and Paul Graham and all the other big folks, and it's really, really good. And I also learned, like, just take a step, you know, believe in it. At the beginning, it was just me, and then Sanjar showed up, and yeah, it's cool.
There's a Techstars curriculum as well.
Oh, there is? Okay,
We'll
cool.
get you connected with that.
There's a YC podcast for that too, that's still actively managing and posts all the time. Yeah,
There's a YC podcast?
Yeah, it's a Y Combinator startup podcast. Entry Sport, which has one Entry Sport, which has a program like that online too. They have free crypto school online. So a bunch of venture capitalists that have their own podcasts that post weekly about sales and building a business strategy, picking a co-founder, all of it. I'm saying it because I listen to it pretty much every day.
We have to be, I feel like, just interacting with the words and the language and the vibes of it to become it. Thank you.
I was going to say too, Etna and I were talking, she's like, I came to you, you didn't acknowledge me. She does deserve a lot of acknowledgement because she came over with an interest in being a part of the energy, but like, I'm not sure how I can help you, and didn't understand the concept, and when she learned of it, she's like, shit, I didn't think that that's what it was, but I guess I'll stay. So like, remembering that there are people that will gravitate towards you to help you, even if they're not really feeling like a part of the process because it's already built, they can add value to your experience, for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Jay, Liz, and the mentors. I'm sure everybody else would as well for giving up their weekend to help us through this battle.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think what I learned was that everyone has different forte, and when we come together as a team and everyone focuses on their forte and present it to everyone, like collectively, it just, that's what makes a great product and a great startup idea, like venture.
Cool. So, we want to say thank you to the people who made this possible. First, to our judging panel. Let's give them another. So kind to give up a couple hours on their Sunday to help us out. We also have our organizing team. So, this wouldn't have happened without us. So, yay! We had all sorts of mentors this weekend. I want to thank Corey, Graham, Scott, Mike, Tom, Alex, Alfonso, and Eric, who will stop by this weekend. So, and some of them are here right now as well. So, let's give our mentors a round of applause. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. So, let's give them a round of applause. And so, remember, we've got some global sponsors. And if you haven't cashed in some of this stuff, you get 300 platform credit thanks to Google for Startups. Every startup weekend around the country, around the world gets this benefit. So you go to that website and get started with that. Everyone here gets a free domain name. So if you haven't cashed that one in, I think you have until Thursday to decide to use that. You go to startup.co and you plug in this registry code here to utilize this. So I'll give you 5 seconds to do this. And those of you who participated will get an email again for this information.
Thank you.
Here's what you've been waiting for, the top 3 teams. So let's get a drum roll for third place. Third place. Red.
Really great. It was really tough, actually, to even make a decision, because everyone was great. Some feedback that I could even have from you, everything was great. Some of the things that I personally thought maybe we could think a little bit more about was always that risk window. I think when it popped up, it was like, okay, we're telling people to go get help. But what mindset are we in when we're getting that window? Are we just gonna go do what it says? Or is there someone that can follow up? Is 988, can they be alerted when someone's getting that first window? When those risk behaviors are there, how can we make sure that that person is truly getting the support? But really, that was it.
All right, second place, drum roll, please. Secure status.
Yeah, so similarly, great research. We really loved your guys' presentation. Felt like you guys really dug into the market. Found that there weren't too many U.S. competitors, so definitely wondering about the HIPAA compliance. So hopefully you guys can find a consultant to help you out there. Definitely wondering about the privacy, especially the screenshotting. Definitely wondering how you guys can kind of tackle that. Would love to discuss a little bit more about that. Maybe using some zero knowledge proofs to kind of prove the reliability of the results that you guys are sharing, just so it's not just me faking it and going around and spreading things that you don't want.
Literally.
And one more big drum roll.
So for this one, hearing that you heard about this Wednesday and came from California, we were just looking at each other, all right. I've sat through a lot of different pitches, talked to companies all over the world, and never have I heard of two people that just started researching something in a specific weekend and sounded like they were experts that had been working in the industry for decades. And that's the key thing to do if you're going to be scaling a startup or growing a business, is that you need to really be that industry expert. So you made all of us feel like we're industry experts, and we're sitting in there like, we should plan for funerals.
Yes, you should.
So after we wrap up, we'll have first place pick from the 3 prize packages, and then second place gets to pick from the 2 remaining, and then third place gets the third place one. So there you go. Thank you very much. I forgot to change that slide, so we may have a startup weekend online in January, but we will have this again next summer at some point. Stay tuned for that. Also, we've got all sorts of other community projects. We've got 1 Million Cups Iowa City, open coffee every Wednesday. So every Wednesday, open coffee, 8 to 9 a.m., 1 Million Cups IC, 9 to 10 a.m., and then we definitely recommend everyone consider attending the Venture School program at the University of Iowa. So we have it all over the state. We'll have a group starting in mid-September all across the state. So Iowa City has a cohort, Des Moines, usually the Quad Cities has one, Sioux City, Mason City I think usually has one, and then we've had a virtual one the last couple of semesters here. So Scott and I teach the Iowa City group, and Scott's the head honcho for Venture School. You want to get up and tell people a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. So this is a great way to ideate. Startup weekend is, how you take that idea and give it some form. Venture School is where you start building a business model. We take 7 weeks. It's a pretty immersive experience to figure out the framework for this startup, how you're going to monetize, the market size. And at the end of Venture School, you should have a pretty good indication whether this is a go or no-go idea. So, but there are a number of also great ecosystem resources here. Liz runs a great program with builders and backers. Alex is involved with great programming with Nuboco. So just know that there's plenty of resources to help you as you go through your progression here.
I'll make sure to send an email to everyone afterwards listing out all the different resources so you have those easy and don't have to screenshot photos and Google later. So.
So I do want to say Techstars is the worldwide entrepreneurship network that helps entrepreneurs We've had over 400,000 participants, not at the Startup Weekend in Iowa City, we wish we had 400,000 right here, but since 2009, that's across the globe, 6,000 events, 150 countries, in almost 1,500 cities. And this slide is probably, out of date, it's probably even bigger numbers than that. So yeah, that's what I have. Thank you all for joining us. We are going to hang out here and maybe for another half hour or so we'll continue to network, finish up the beverages and the food and things, so we don't take things home. But that's all I've got. I do want to thank everyone who has joined us this weekend. Thank you to the participants, and hope to see you all again